don't forget to click that subscribe and bell icon to receive a notification each time I upload a new video. Hi everyone, it's Mike here. So I've said it many times before that inspiration can strike you at any moment, and that's so true for me this morning. I was sat working on my computer and I was working on a new project, a new product to be precise, when a piece of music came on the radio, and in the background I could hear Justin Timberlake singing about Can't Stop the Feeling or something like that. Anyway, I think that's the name of the song, and in that song there is a phrase, one line of the lyric, and it's "I've got that sunshine in my pocket." And that was enough to set me off, because at the time I was working on something that involved images of sunflowers, and I just thought it gave me the visual image, if you like, the mental image, that's what I'm trying to say, the mental image of somebody with a couple of sunflowers poking out the back pocket. So that's what I'm going to try and recreate today. Okay, so I've got out my Dilutions 8x8 creative journal. So this is what I'm going to create the page in. And I've gone through my Digi collection and I found some images of denim textures. And I've created some 3-inch, or they're about 3-inch squares. Some have got seams on, some haven't got seams on. They're all different kind of colours, different shades of denim. And I've cut them out. I've already just added some distress to that one, just to see how much distress I would need to add on the rest of them to get it to work, or to get the pattern to work. So what I'm going to do first of all is, that's what I'm going to stick down, but I want to paint a background colour or a ground on my art journal page to start off with. So I've gone into my collection of paints and I've pulled out my Deco Art Americana, and this is the Williamsburg Blue. So I'm going to just splodge quite a bit of that paint down on the page. It's almost a kind of denim blue, but it's close enough for what I want to do today. So all I'm going to do is just to take that paint. I've not put any gesso down, so it's going to be total paint on the background, undiluted if you like, and I'm going to go across that side of the page as well, because I always like to carry over onto the other side when I'm doing a spread. And then I'm going to go right the way towards the edge, and I really should have put something underneath the page just to protect the pages behind. There we go. Let's just give it a real nice even coating all the way across. And I know if I'd have put gesso down, I probably would have got away with putting less paint on, but hey ho, that's not the name of the game today. I'm not being frugal in any way. There we go, just carry that over. And that should do me. Look at some scrap paper. Scrap piece over here, and I'll just drop that underneath, like so. And then I can go right up to the page edge. That's more like it. That gives me more of the edge that I wanted. And then I'll just pull that out, drop that on the floor and grab another one. And I'll just tuck that under. And then I can go just towards the edge over there. And then I'll just feather that bit out so it disappears off into inconsequentiality. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, so I'll drop my pot of my brush into my pot of water, and then we'll get that dried off, and then we can get started. Okay, so page is all dry. I've got my gloves on now because I'm going to be using matte medium. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the lid off because there's not a lot left in there. I've got my brush and I'm going to take those squares of denim and I'm going to start gluing them down onto my background. So first of all, let's just grab a piece there and take that right the way across, like so. And then the first piece I'm going to grab, just put a little bit on the back. This is why I've got the gloves on, because my fingers don't like the matte medium anymore. The skin starts dropping off. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up a kind of patchwork of these squares just on that background. I'm going to leave just a little bit of a gap. Just a little, just to create a kind of frame all the way around. Just like so. So what I'll do, because watching me do this umpteen times isn't going to be exactly interesting, you're literally watching paint dry, is I'll pop some music on and then I'll fast forward and I'll join with you again at the end. Okay, so just join back as I'm adding the last one on. Now, I thought about adding distress ink to the backs or around the edges of each one of these little denim squares, but I thought, well, there's no real point. It doesn't really add anything to the page, and I kind of got my spacing a bit mixed up, but that's okay. Yeah, nobody's perfect, especially me. Okay, so we'll get that dried off. Okay, so my matte medium is dry, so now I've gone and dug out from my collection of Faber-Castell Pitt pens. There's one called Indanthrene Blue, number 247. I've got Warm Grey, number 273. And then I've got two smaller ones, Raw Umber 180 and Walnut Brown 177. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down the edges. This is why I didn't bother too much with that distress around the edges, because I can create a kind of texture build-up between each of the squares just by adding some kind of shade in between, as you can see. So I'm going to go around with the blue first. Now you've got to work quick with these pens because they're India ink, which means that they're very pliable when wet but permanent when dry. So you can maneuver, push, blend, smudge to your heart's content while they're still wet, but as soon as they dry, that's your onion, that's your lot. Okay. Haven't done this on an art journal page for an age. Use these pit pens. So I thought it was about time I dusted them off and got my money's worth. Okay, so that's the blue. It's created a nice cut, and then I'm going to go back in with the grey just to kind of add a little bit of shadow between. Of it. That's coming along nicely. And then we'll just go around the edges, just creating a bit of a frame. I'm going to leave that one open-ended. Like it. And then I'm going to warm it up a little bit just by adding some brown. And it's that kind of brown that's reminiscent of the stitches. So it's just going to warm it up a tad. I'll go on the verticals first. You've got to be pretty quick to get it before it dries. But if you add some more over the top, you kind of reactivate it. So it's not all lost if you don't manage to get in there quick enough. I should maybe just do one at a time. Love the effect though. Why did I wait so long to get these things out again? Okay, have I missed any? Just maybe at the tops up there. Is that everywhere? I think so. And of course, dirty fingers, but that will just wipe straight off with a baby wipe. But if you've got some alcohol, just to add a little bit onto a cloth, and it will just come straight off. There we go. See? And I apologise for using that finger. I got told off for using my middle finger for doing that kind of thing a while ago. Okay, so now I can bring in my sunshine. So I've got two sunflower. It's the same sunflower actually. I've just reversed it on the computer and then hand cut it out. Now the reason I didn't show it cutting out is because you guys really don't want to see me sit there cutting out flowers. But I've also got a denim pocket, which I have already gone round with distressing, because, you know, watching somebody sit in distress isn't exactly the most interesting thing on this planet. I can just trust me, it isn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just audition that to where I want it to go, and that's about right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little mark just underneath for the top of the pocket. There we go. And then maybe one just there, so I know where the point is. And then I'm going to grab some glue. Now I've got Elmer's School. Could use the purple disappearing stuff. That's if that'll open. Will that open? Maybe I need just to poke that out. Yeah, there was just a cap over the top. There we go. So what I'm going to do is just take a bead around the edge, and just for the time being I'm not going to stick the pocket in the middle. I'm going to actually leave it open just a little. So that's going to be where the mark is, about there. I'm using school glue so that I know I've got a little bit of wiggle room. So now I can just add some glue onto the back of there. Just down the stem. Flip it over, and then I can just tuck it under. About there. And then just lay that flat. Just like that. And now I can just push down there. So that pocket's a little bit bagged, so there's a little bit of room. That's fine. Now if you want to, you could put something that's weighted, but to be honest, I don't mind a little bit of dimension on this. So I'm not particularly bothered too much if I get some of the petals sticking up. Like so. Okay, and then I'm going to take the second one. I'm just going to quickly whip around that just to add a little bit just to the edges. I'd already started. There we go. Now I could go around the edges with a distress marker pen, just using the brush tip, and just go around, just get rid of those white raw edges. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick that one over the top like so. And again, I'm not particularly bothered about getting any of the petals. If they want to, just stand it up a little bit, give it a little bit of dimension. And then I'm going to stick that pretty much like that, just over the top. And then just flatten it with my hand. Great little collage project. Not difficult to do. The hardest part is the fussy cutting and just coming up with the concept of like doing the patchwork with the denim. But yeah, I like it. So, just to finish off, I obviously printed out the line of the lyric from the song. What was the actual name of the song? I think I've got it. Can't Stop the Feeling, that was it, from the film Trolls. So I've got some vintage photo just on my ink blending foam, and it's an archival one. So I've also just printed it in like a dark brown rather than a black, just to keep it a little bit more in keeping with the centre colour of the sunflowers. And I've not cut it completely and utterly straight. I've not used a ruler, I actually did it by hand. So I'm going to put the lyric, whoops, just on the pocket down there. Okay, so although we've still got very, very cold weather, snow, ice, there are signs of spring on the way. My daffodils and tulips are starting to come up in the garden, so that's given me some hope and definitely something to look forward to. Excellent, I like it. And I've just got that really dirty look. That's not very good. Let's see if we can wipe a little bit of that off. There we go. It's gone a bit grubby, but what the heck. And then of course, if you want, we could just go around adding a little bit of shadow. In there. So we can get our fingers in and just add a little bit down there maybe. That might have actually gone on some glue. Okay, we'll leave that. It's not turning into the best, is it? So yeah, I think that'll do. I think that will do. It scratched that creative itch after listening to that song, which is very good. It's very up-tempo, very enjoyable. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just sign and date it, but I'm going to do it over this side. And today is, what date is it today? It's the 12th, Saturday the 12th. Almost all the twos. Oh, 12, 2, 21. Is that a palindrome? Could be. Is it a palindrome? So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create that collage art journal page today. If you have, please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. That's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.